Good evening and welcome to Two Old Pucks Hockey Chat with Scott and Amazing Chris. And
How
we
come I don't
are,
get any adjectives?
you're not going to get any.
That's crap,
You're
really.
not going to
Yeah,
get any.
fair enough.
Yeah. um, Welcome back. We have a whole slew, a whole potpourri, a whole menagerie of items for everyone this evening.
You got to stop reading the dictionary while you're in the bathroom, my friend.
We have a poo-poo platter.
There you go. Indeed. Set you up for that
Of
one.
items for everybody. We have a sampling tray. So, um, Mr. Scotty, you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay,
So we can knock a few things out here real quick. So,
knock it.
yeah. So one of the things, first thing I want to focus on was the fact that Sidney Crosby came back after missing 28 straight games for a sports hernia. And in his return last night at PPG Paints Arena against the Minnesota Wild, he put up 4 points. The guy just has a history of really just putting on a show in his returns. So 4 points, had a goal and 3 assists. And taking a look back, it's the fourth time that he's had to come back after missing at least 20 games. So back in 2008, he missed 21 games and assisted on the game-winning goal against the Tampa Bay Lightning. He missed 61 regular season games and came back in a 5-0 win against New York Islanders in Pittsburgh back in 2011. And then had another 40-game absence in 2012 when he put in 2 assists against the Rangers at Madison Square Garden. So certainly everybody expects fireworks when he comes back, and he didn't disappoint. So at this point in the season, anytime you get a player like that back, it's almost as if the GM has made a trade and picked up some talent. So good for him. On the flip side of that game, which last night, which was a 7-3 victory over the Minnesota Wild, we get to Boost Boudreau. And a lot of stuff on the internet about Boost Boudreau. He may be on the hot seat for a lot of different reasons because his team just really isn't doing well. But more specifically, he turned in a lineup card that forced him to play with 5 defensemen in the game. It was the wrong lineup card. But nonetheless, he had intended to make forward Ryan Donato a healthy scratch, but instead he put Donato's name on the lineup card and omitted one of his defensemen, who was supposed to be one of the team's 6 defensemen. So the defenseman took part in the pregame skate, was dressed and ready to go. They get out on the bench. The linesmen take a look at the lineup card. They look at the bench. They're like, "Hey, yeah, sorry, that guy's got to go." So they tossed Greg Panarin, who was the defenseman who was not on the lineup card, tossed him, and Donato, who didn't even take part in the pregame skate, wasn't dressed, didn't expect it to play, and apparently, according to the story, had grabbed a burger, and he had to go get dressed and join the team on the bench because he was listed on the card. So it's pretty insane that would happen. The Wild are not performing the expectations. They have a bunch of huge contracts. There was apparently a nice long conversation between him and GM Billy Guerin right after the game, closed door. And I got to believe that while this would not be the nail in the coffin, this is just one more thing for Boost Boudreau to work against him and potentially find himself out of a job sooner rather than later. So that's
Which
my
leads to, I
one.
think
Yeah.
we might as well just segue that right into. Do you want to segue that into another topic, or do you want to save it?
We'll save it. We'll save
Okay.
it. So
Crazy.
yeah.
Okay. There's a couple ways we can go here. You want to swap off? You want me to?
Yeah, go ahead, man. You take
grab
it.
the next
I'll,
one?
I'll grab it back. Yeah.
All right. I just thought this was cool. Nothing too cray, but I'll pull this up here. The Rob Report, courtesy of them and their website, Forget table hockey. This $53 million Northern California home has its own full-size hockey rink. Hockey rink. Okay. This was owned by, well, they still own it. They're selling it, but it's Scott and Susan McNeely. And Scott was a co-founder of computer technology company Sun Microsystems, which is pretty big. But he was also one of the former Harvard men's hockey team captains back in the day. So a very passionate hockey guy. And as we just scroll through the listing here of this gorgeous 32,000 square foot mansion with, 20 rooms. I mean, it's gorgeous, but here's the highlight of this. Check this out, man. I mean, really? He's got, now, all things considered, and looking at this, they say it's a full-size hockey rink, and it looks like the face-off circles are full size, but it looks like they shrunk the width. But the length I'm not too sure about. It looks pretty good, but the width definitely has been squeezed. So, but the blue lines are there, and all the everything looks good. Everything looks really nice. So, beautiful home. It could be yours. Just 53 million. Scotty, do you want that just for the weekend?
I mean, maybe Airbnb might
Right.
have a use for that. But never mind the pool.
Right.
Never mind that it's 32,000 square feet.
Right.
It has a wine cellar, a two-tiered movie theater, poker room, billiards room,
Golf
spa with a
course.
steam room, golf course,
Again,
massage area, because every house needs a massage area.
of course. I have one.
Yeah, yeah. The rink can be converted into a tennis court, equestrian center, or car collector's garage by the future owner, as the website states. Should the new owners not prove as enthusiastic about hockey? So, yeah, I mean, this place is insane. But when you have money and you do well, you kind of do stuff like that. I really like the poker room.
Yeah, the
Uh,
poker room was nice.
that's the game room's pretty nice. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Because I think what was nice about that is you can just, lock everyone else out and keep a nice private little card game going there.
yeah. But I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, a hockey rink. I mean, every house needs one.
Of course.
I might talk to the wife and see what we can do with ours.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
just convert your kids' room. Let
that's
your kids sleep out back for a
that's
little bit.
right. Yep, no worries with that one. So it's
All
good
right,
stuff.
man. That is the my amazing first story.
All right, all right.
Anything else you'd like to throw out there?
Yeah, so I got a couple real quick hits. So the Breadman, Artemi Panarin, with the Rangers.
Oh, here we
Uh,
go.
yeah, no. So
Yeah.
it doesn't. I don't even have to mention the opponent if you don't want me to. Scored twice and added 3 assists. Become the second Rangers player in as many games to record a 5-point night at home. Panarin in his last 4 games has 4 goals and 12 points. So the Breadman is definitely enjoying his time with the Rangers, putting up points, doing his thing. So I thought that was a pretty good statistic there. He's just continued his scoring streak with the Rangers. Unfortunately, it is with the Rangers, a team that has 0 chance of making the postseason this year or probably the next couple of years. So. Do you have any comments about that? I mean, that game, that experience, or anything?
No.
Okay, fair enough. I'll move on. We'll keep it at that. So another interesting story here, and interesting only because of the price tag. So Backstrom wouldn't quite be able to afford that house that we just looked at. It was 52 million was the price tag on that one, I think. But he could come close because the Capitals signed him to a 5-year, $46 million extension. He's 32 years old now. It'll be 9.2 million average per year starts this upcoming season, and he negotiated his own contract, and he wanted to make sure that he maxed out his contract. So it's interesting. He leads the franchise, the Washington Capitals, in assists with 668, and is the only active player to generate 50 or more assists in 6 consecutive seasons. He ranks second in franchise history in points with 908, second only to. I'll throw this one to you. What do you? Who do you think is first in points with the Washington Capitals?
You're kidding, right?
No. I want to give you a nice, easy trivia question here.
Ovechkin?
Yeah. Oh man, you got it. I'm not sure how you figured it out.
What are you doing?
Yeah, nothing. So it's an interesting price tag for a player that's a little bit older. They certainly are going to have to make some decisions with their roster. Braden Holtby is going to need a new contract after this season. They're not sure if Ilya Samsonov is going to be their goalie moving forward. And then, of course, Alex Ovechkin, he has one more season on his current contract. So it's the contract was good for Backstrom, especially interesting that he negotiated himself. But it will be, I'll definitely be interested to see what the Capitals do once they have to start signing some of these players and have to deal with the cap, as well as what's going to be the diminishing return. Because you hit 32 years old, not everybody's an Iron Man, and at some point in time, players start diminishing their skill. They're not able to play with what they were able to do before. So I just thought it was a good story. Good for him being able to max that out. I think deserved based on his play with the Washington Capitals. But I wish that I could go into work tomorrow and negotiate for $46 million all by myself. So, yeah.
Not bad. Nice payday. He deserves it.
Yeah.
Solid guy.
Absolutely.
Good player.
Absolutely.
All right. My turn?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Rock and roll. We're going to go back to... Boom. CBS Sports nabs the U.S. TV rights to a new 3-on-3 pro hockey league. This is pretty cool. This is brought to us by HollywoodReporter.com. Did you know about this, Scotty? Had you heard about this?
No. I had not heard that there was going to be this kind of a league. So
yeah, same here. This is kind of news to me also. But to get the information correct, I'm just going to rattle off some stuff here right off the page. Once again, courtesy HollywoodReporter.com. But this is going to be a 3-on-3 professional ice hockey league in North America, set to launch in June 2021. The new league is created by E.J. Johnston, son of former pro hockey goalie and coach Ed Johnston and NHL veteran Craig Patrick. It will air on Canada's TSN Sports Channel and its Quebec counterpart RDS. And the 3 Ice Championship game will air on the CBS TV network. Now, one of the keys to this is that they're looking to have like more open ice and more goal scoring. So there's not going to be any penalties. There's only going to be penalty shots. There's not going to be any long intermissions or stoppage and play for video reviews. They're kind of setting the tone that it's just pure excitement. They're going to try to just make it a faster, higher scoring, hence more exciting version of regular 5-on-5 NHL hockey. The league will comprise 8 teams of 7 players each and a head coach. All the teams will visit each tour city and play in all 60 games during each summer season, taking place when the NHL is on a break. It's a great idea. I mean,
I think it fills a niche. It's certainly being smart and not competing with the NHL. It'll be interesting to see how long funding goes for, and if it's going to fizzle out like the 5th or 6th version of the XFL, whatever we happen to be on right now.
Yeah.
But I like it. No penalties, only penalty shots.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely interesting. It has the right backing with Johnston and Patrick. They've been in the hockey world. Their names are revered in many cases in the hockey world. Craig Patrick, of course, was with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and before that was with the 1980 Miracle on Ice team. And Johnston's a hockey family. His father was a coach and is a scout for the Penguins now. So certainly two names, two families that have a legacy and were brought on to bring some credibility to the league. So
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see who they stock it with.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. That's the first thing I thought of is where are they going to be sourcing the players from? And the other thing is here in the United States, do we have access to Canada's TSN Sports Channel?
VPNing would probably be the only way to get to it.
Yeah, because it says that for the United States, it will air on CBS TV, which is obviously here in the States. So if it's only the championship game, I mean, I guess it's still good. It'd be nice to see all the games. Because if it's what they're saying is at each stop, they're going to be going at since it's going to have 8 teams from 8 different, representing each, 8 cities, right? And then there's 7 players each team. So all teams will visit each tour city, unless the tour city means that they're just picking random cities separate of where the 8 teams are hailing from. And they're saying that it's going to be 7. Here it is. It will feature 7 games in a single elimination format with a champion to be crowned at each of 9 planned stops across North America. So maybe the 9 planned stops are separate of where the 8 teams are from.
Yep.
But 7 games to me means that you're going to have 4. Well, you have. How are they going to do that?
Who knows?
Round robin?
Maybe we'll see. I'm sure there's going to be more details. The other thing I was looking at too, just kind of reading this. So you're probably going to end up having to stream the games on CBS Sports, and then the championship game will air on the actual television network.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what I'm reading on here. So
yeah, exactly.
You don't need to be able to get to TSN. Although CBS Sports may charge a fee for streaming the game, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, no, I mean it's exciting. We'll see what happens, and it'll be interesting to see where those cities are if they're going to try and tap into established hockey markets, or if they're going to go to cities that don't really have a team there. So
right.
Yeah.
Very nice,
Sir, you?
I've just got one more. So
Go
if
for
you
it.
have anything else you want to pop out, just you got.
Okay. If
Yep.
you want, what I thought this was just kind of cool.
Yeah.
Let me just grab this. Bear with me 1 second to prep it. I'm a little unprepared with it, but okay. So I got it. So this is we'll go back to it right now. A winter blast of outdoor hockey put out by the White Bear Press in Minnesota. The 2020 Mite Winter Blast Tourney was held Saturday, January 11th at Pavin Park in White Bear Lake. It's just a collection of photos from a little Mite tournament. It couldn't be any more of the epitome of the northern hockey life. You know, this picture encapsulates everything. You got the wooden boards, they're out on a pond, all the hockey moms are along the wall, cheering on the little peanuts who are banging into each other. This is where everybody comes from. This is it. This is hockey. This is where everybody gets a taste of on their journey.
Yeah.
Very, very cool stuff. It was just like it's almost like the type of thing you could take a picture of it and put it on your wall. It's just like the perfect picture representing what hockey life is about.
Yeah, I'm sure the kids had fun. I started playing when I was 6. Grew up going through mites, squirts, peewees, all the way up. And so never played in an outdoor rink. Definitely played in some rinks that were open at one end, which made them pretty cold with the wind whipping through. But to your point, with an experience like this, and going back to that tournament we talked about on Sunday as well, with getting kids involved. Um, One of my fondest memories of playing as a kid was having the experience to play in between periods of Hershey Bears game.
Yeah.
So sellout crowd. We're on the ice for I think 5 minutes, maybe 8 minutes. I don't remember.
That's awesome.
And the crowd is cheering with every shot, every save, every goal, and it's just you have all that excitement. So certainly, not necessarily the same fan experience that these kids would have, but to be able to go out and play on the ice like that and just be on a pond, and have those surroundings. I've skated pond hockey, but it's totally different experience when you're out in the open.
Right.
I equate it to when we'd have swim calls and be able to jump off the side of the sub, and we're out in the middle of the ocean with nothing to see anywhere, no land. It's just all water in every direction. It's a different perspective than, say, being at the beach.
I'm not sure many of the viewers might know what you're referring to right there.
Oh, so yeah, so sorry, I don't think I mentioned it before. So yeah, I did some time in the Navy, spent some time submarines. So yeah, I was just referring. We'd surface, several miles off the coast without being in sight of land, and we'd go up and have a swim call. So just basically jumped off the side of the sub, right in the ocean, had a good time. But yeah, it was a different experience swimming in an ocean when there's no geographical references. It's just water everywhere. So same thing with a pond. You're just looking around, and there's no boards, there's no ceiling, there's no roof, there's no nothing. You're just out in the open, and it's a pretty awesome experience.
Good stuff.
So,
all right, so I'll let you wrap it up.
Yeah. So before I get to the major meet, because that 3-on-3 tournament actually jogs them in my mind. So the All-Star game, the NHL All-Star game, which we continue to have substitutes. I think I don't even know how many people are actually left from the original roster, but they did announce this week they're introducing a 3-on-3 women's hockey tournament as part of the All-Star game. So good on the league for bringing that aspect. I think it's a good thing for women's professional hockey to inject that into the weekend, give them some exposure, especially with all the hardships they've faced with leagues folding over the past couple of years. So I will probably tune in for that, just because that's new, right? That's different. Watching women play, especially in a 3-on-3 tournament. This isn't a gimmicky skills competition where, the women raced in the fastest skater, but their scores don't count, right? Yeah, this would be pretty cool. So, all right. So, really getting down to the news of the day. And if I had a buzzer or a dunce hat or something that I could throw out there for this story, I would be chucking it, is the Golden Knights, in their infinite wisdom, decided to fire head coach Gary Gallant. So Gary Gerard. Yeah. So this is insane to me. I don't know why they would do this. So the guy, this is only his third year. So in his first year behind the bench of an expansion team, bringing players together who had never played before, just destroying any preconceived notions of what an expansion team would do, gets to the Stanley Cup Finals. Right, first season. The guy, they have a little bit of a setback, but they still make the postseason last year. He gets the Jack Adams Award for best coach. We're halfway through season number 3, and they decide to fire him. To me, this is insane.
Is it possible what I mentioned in the last broadcast is maybe playing a role where other owners are seeing what's going on and starting to question their position and can validate a move because other teams are making a move? Because that's exactly what this seems like. If no other coach had been fired this season, would this be the only firing we would have encountered this season? No, I don't believe so.
No,
I don't believe an owner would fired Gallant, knowing that it would be the talk of the season, which would bring the focus down on them and the spotlight and the microscope down on them, and they would look like a laughing stock. Now, it is still laughable that they fired him because he's done a solid job, and it seems like everyone has lost patience with, like, all of a sudden mediocrity is unacceptable, because that's where they're at right now. They're a mediocre team, but they've nowhere dropped or dipped below that since the team's inception.
They're
And
3 points out of first place in
Yeah.
the Pacific Division. 3
Yeah.
points. They are currently tied for the last wild card spot,
Yeah.
and it's only January. I
This-
mean,
this would not have happened if none of the other coaches would have been fired. So everyone's getting, it's almost like it's almost like an ego thing. It's almost like owners are feeling like, hey, you know what? I want to fire a coach too. I can validate it. Everyone else has done it. Let me be the big shot now. I want my name in the news this week.
so the GM McCrimmon is the GM for Vegas, and he was asked why the firing, right? So I'm taking a look at Yahoo Sports, the article that they posted today, and the title of the article is "Golden Knights firing Gallant, short-sighted, knee-jerk reaction." So
Yeah.
when they asked McCrimmon what he was thinking, was going on, he says, as a manager, sometimes you have a feeling that something isn't the way you need it or want it to be. We feel we have underperformed a little bit, and certainly that's not a little bit, yeah. And certainly that's not to pile that at the feet of Mike and Gerard, but sometimes you feel a change is needed. So again, he keeps throwing this word feel. So when asked how long he had contemplated a change, his response went back to his feel, and he said it wasn't a specific block of games or a specific game. It's hard to put into words, I guess, unless you've done these jobs. It's more just the feeling that you have that a change might be needed. I mean, I'm listening. It's all feeling. Okay, so statistics wise, so when it comes to the 5-on-5 play, their 53.9% shot attempt share is fourth best in the NHL. They have an expected goal share of 54.8% that is second best in the NHL. Their scoring chance shares are both in the top 5, right? So that's all scoring chances and high danger chances. They're controlling the game. Now, the issue has been their save percentage is 25th in the league. So, Fleury's not having a great season, but there's no backup, and so they pretty much have to ride the guy, right?
There's no way you can slice it. You can look at every stat you want. You still can't validate it.
So the only thing that we can think of right now, and by we, I mean just the folks that are taking a look at this, there's reports out there that the move was made simply because Peter DeBoer, who was fired by the Sharks, was available. So he was fired.
Why would he be a better choice?
Well, so once again, yeah. So with San Jose, they're taking a look at what San Jose's been able to do in the past couple of seasons. So basically, the assumption here is that DeBoer lost players. He lost his ability to drive the type of game that he coaches, which is why he was fired in San Jose. And so, but with him behind the bench, I guess they expect that he's going to implement some sort of a strategy similar to what he had in San Jose and be able to coax more out of the team. But I got to tell you, if your goaltending is not good, despite the fact your team is controlling the puck, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. So to me, this is just insane. So now Gallant, of course, he's not going to be out of work for a while. And I think it's funny too that with Bruce Boudreau, with the Wild and them not performing well, and with that latest gaffe, which I still don't know how you screw that up, but you may be looking at another team to fire because Gallant's available. Or Gallant could be made available to Seattle and their expansion team. There's been talk that potentially Detroit could be looking at Gallant. He played 9 seasons there, and obviously Detroit's not doing well. So Steve Yzerman was his teammate. So there's certainly a link there. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about that because I got to tell you, man, like this just blows my mind. He won the Jack Adams Stanley Cup Finals just 2 years ago.
I'm
Why do you
telling
not
you,
let the guy
it's an
finish the
ego
season?
thing with the owners.
Why
That's
don't you?
all.
Why don't you
It's an ego
finish?
thing. Why not? They have it. It's just why not?
I don't know why you don't let him finish the season. And it's not like they're out of the playoffs.
Because if you bring a team to Vegas, you want to be in the spotlight, right? You hire a coach, you want to be in the spotlight. You want to do everything. That's the whole thing surrounding the Vegas sort of aura. So if a coach goes 3 years and you haven't heard his name, he wants his name heard. He wants his name in the media. It's time. Let's see what happens. You know what? They'll pay for it.
I think they will. I think they're. DeBoer, has his own style. He's got his, his own thing to implement. But if you're not getting good goaltending and you don't have a backup to give the guy give your starter a break. So really, nobody's there to give Fleury out of the net.
Right.
Doesn't matter how much you possess the puck, right? And Gallant will certainly have the last laugh. We'll just leave it at that.
Before we sign off for the evening, just very quick, I got the warm fuzzies watching it because of the person it happened to. It just gave me, I felt good. I felt, I don't know, I feel like the warm fuzzies. But that absolutely amazing penalty shot by Brad Marchand.
That is the way to end that. Do we have a clip?
It felt so good.
Do we have a clip?
It felt good.
Yes.
The look on his face.
Yes.
And then pointing to the puck as if almost like it hadn't been moved.
Yeah.
And just in disbelief. And maybe he could think of a rule that, could counter that. And and then did the skate of shame off the ice. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Could not have happened to a better person.
Exactly.
And the thing was, he wound up. He skated back into back all the way to the other end of the ice.
He was ready, baby. He was fired up.
Yeah. That could not have happened to a better person than Brad Marchand.
And the score was 3-3, and that would have been it. If he was that, he could have won it right there.
Yep.
But he lost it.
Instead, the game was on his stick, and he definitely lost to the Flyers.
Awesome.
That definitely couldn't happen to a better guy. So
awesome.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Very nice.
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Vegas, you're stupid.
I would agree with you. That was I think if we had to give out a 2 old pucks bonehead move of the month, that's it. That's the bonehead move of the month.
Yep, absolutely.
So for sure, Marchand coming in at second in that category.
Absolutely.
All right. I think that's a wrap. You want to take us out?
Yeah, no. So just want to remind everybody, we are all over social media: Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, 2 Old Pucks. We have Gmail, 2oldpucks@gmail.com. Certainly invite you to tune in every Wednesday and Sunday for our broadcasts. Drop us a line on Twitter. We've been trying to respond to any replies that we get there. Any comments that you want to throw us in the live broadcast or after, we'll certainly get to, and appreciate any feedback. And we'll be back again this upcoming Sunday, and look forward to seeing you there.
Good night.